All right, welcome everybody to the Esports Trade Association's LinkedIn Live. We are so excited to share with you today the ESTA Leadership Program. This is a brand new program that is launching on January 10th, supporting our leaders of local chapters across the country and across the world. And so we are excited today to share what is the program, who is it for, and how we see it being impactful and effective to support the esports industry. So, before we get down that path, why don't I introduce my fellow guests here on the program? Megan, let's start with you.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited for this program and so grateful for how many people have participated and contributed. And we're super excited to share this today. The best leaders, I say, are students of life. So thank you for the introduction, John.
Wonderful. And Megan is the founder of the Esports Trade Association, as everyone knows. Next up, Michaela Frank. Why don't you share with us who you are and how you've contributed to this impactful program?
Hello, my name is Michaela Frank, and I am from the Dallas chapter. I've the one, doing a lot of the facilitating, coordinating with speakers, and just helping, build out the program alongside. I think Gordon, John, Demetrius, who's not here, and Megan. So I'll be giving you guys a lot of information regarding the program today.
Fantastic. And Gordon Hinkle hailing from Sacramento, California today. Why don't you give us a little background of yourself?
Yeah, thank you, John. It's great to be here. Very excited about this program as we're working to help engage the collegiate community. So I'm the president of College Esports International and also help to spearhead the Northern California ESTA chapter, which is just getting underway. So we're just launching a lot of new activities and super excited about this program just because the number of colleges we've already talked to and student leaders and just the buzz that's already developing really is exciting for us.
Absolutely. And so we were going to do an overview of this program. Before we get into that, as Michaela is pulling up a presentation that we'll be going through, first of all, feel free to populate any questions you have in the chat. We will answer all that we're able to get to at the end of this session. But at a high level, I think the most important question is, why are we doing this? What is the reason? And what we have evaluated as the trade association for the esports industry is that more effective leadership would be extremely helpful at a community, at a national and global level for the esports industry in the current phase that we are in today. So with that, we're going to go over this program and then we'll dive deep into some of the specifics. So we really appreciate you joining us here. Mickey, take it away.
All right. So just to start off, we like to remind everybody what the Esports Trade Association is all about, and what we do is we help develop members, develop into leaders through an immersive leadership program, through the combination of workshop, individual coaching. We want to elevate the participants, everybody who's part of the program, and elevate their capabilities to lead teams effectively within this industry. And again, like I said, and like John said, this is a great benefit for anybody who joins. So we part of this program, what we are trying to do is help elevate our chapter leaders. We are very working hard to grow local chapters. I think that's the best way to support the industry right now is on a local level. So we want to grow our local chapters, support local communities, and connect local members. I know that with Dallas, we have a strong gaming, interactive media, and esports scene within the community, but we need somebody or something to connect us all together. So we love. That's one of the things we are trying to do. This is complementary to all of our chapter leaders. It's a member benefit, it's a chapter leader benefit, and we think that it will very much contribute to the growth of the esports industry. So there are this workshop is divided into two. Section one is basically overall leadership development, and the other is chapter specific workshop, which, what is it? How do you run? How do you lead a chapter or committee? How do you recruit member? How do you go out into into your local community? How do you reach out, build awareness? How do you create that? How do you create values for members? I know for us in Dallas right now, one of the things we're trying to do is to get into the community and ask them and talk to them and say, hey, what do you need within the local community right now? What value can we provide for you as a chapter? How can we support you? And then other things like setting goals and objectives. I believe that every organization's every business, whatever, everything that you're trying to do, there has to be a very specific goals and objective that you're trying to achieve. And I think that's something very important, not just, for us as a organization, but personally, right? So, and the final project for the program, I believe in, learning things, learning skills, applying it, and creating something at the end to use all the knowledge that you do. So we're one of the things that you guys can do is organize a chapter event, right? Take everything that you learn and just put it into action. In addition to what we are doing, building up our chapter leaders, we're also trying to help our student populations, the college. And I think that's where one of the things that Gordon is really excited about is connecting college students to the community that they're interested in, that they want trying to network and work along and see what running an organization is like. So we're trying to build partnership with universities. Each student is assigned a chapter or committee leader to help mentor them, to shadow them, and just to help build them up. And let's see, attend leadership session alongside chapter leader. They need this program too. They need to learn how to lead, how to do all the things that they need to do to be successful in their career or their life. And then one of the things that they're going to be able to do is gain very tangible experience on how to start and lead in esport organizations, and they're going to help in organize the events, learning what that's about, learning about how to create value, learning how to recruit, learning how to network. These are all, I think, great skills. And the format of this program is to break it down into two things. So one is the leadership workshop is once a month. It should be around 45 an hour and a half to 2 hours, which 30 to 45 minutes is just a guest speaker and a facilitator talking to each other, going through each topics. And then the last part of it is just a live Q&A, just to answer any questions you have, maybe deep dive into a specific part and points of the program. And then alongside of that, we're going to also match you with a mentor, someone who will coach you throughout this entire thing. And you're going to have to, let's say we're talking about leading through change, right? How to handle change within this industry, because esports, gaming, internet stuff changes all the time. So if you want to deep dive into that, learning about from someone with experience, how they've handled that, that's what the coaching session is for. That's why you have a mentor. And this is the schedule for the program. Underneath is the date and the topics that they are that we're going to talk about for each of them. Yeah, so it starts in January. So it's a 12-month long program. And the commitment is about once a month and twice a month if you have if you want to meet with your mentor, which is very, very highly recommended on a regular basis. And then if you would like to apply for the program, here's all the information. So if you are not currently a chapter leader, this is a good time to start a chapter.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Mickey. And you'll see that deadline is quickly approaching. It is November 7th today. The deadline to apply is the 10th. So if you have any interest in this, we very much encourage you, scan that QR code and please apply. Megan and Gordon, I'd love to get your personal take and your personal experience on leadership and coaching development. We talked a little bit at the beginning of this of a high level of why we see the need. Any idea should have a very strong need from the industry. But I'm curious, the two of you personally, and Megan, I'll go with you first. What is your personal relationship with leadership development, and how has that helped you see a need for this program in the esports industry?
Particularly now, when we had COVID, what happened in 2020 when we had the COVID shutdown, I think more people got back to the basics of self-studying and coaching and mentorship and online classes, and we kind of re-looked at things again. And from that little pause that we took globally, we're just getting back to personal and professional development. And it's so empowering that we want to, sharpen our skills and enhance our pitches, our just being called on. Get to a place where someone's going to call on you, just like right now, right here. I have to be ready to have a mic in my hand at any time, and that is a great skill. And how you get good at it, or at least comfortable when the mic is handed to you, is to just be with others where iron sharpens iron, and just getting on court. So I think that is, I think 90% is just showing up. And then eventually you'll get off the stand or off the sideline and into the game. So that's really what I want this program to demonstrate. It's our first year. The community of Esports Trade Association has done an incredible job putting these 12 topics together. And Mickey is our chief facilitation officer of the program. And I know, and she is making the decision of who's getting in and, who's leading the force and all these different topics. And we couldn't be more blessed to be right in this together, doing it for the first time. And, that's just leadership 101. Like that's leadership. Years ago, the management degrees changed the degree from management to leadership. Now, I'm not saying that there's no management degrees anymore, business degree and business management, but you're seeing more of this evolution of a business degree and business leadership, because there is a difference between managing and leading. So that's my long short, John.
Yeah, thank you for that. Some people may or may not know, I have a very personal relationship with leadership development. Years ago, Megan and the team were so gracious to hire an executive coach for me, with the thought that if I was coached up to develop into a better leader, the Esports Trade Association would benefit from having a chairman who is a more effective leader. And I can just tell you from personal experience, shout out to Sharon Gill, by the way, who is that wonderful person. And, before that coaching, I was a much more timid leader. I had far less confidence in my personal perspective, the ability to delegate, the ability to lead a team. Never even dreamed of starting my own business.
Yeah.
And, this stuff isn't magic or snake oil. It's really, there are principles that you learn how to serve others more effectively. And so I feel very passionate personally about this program, because I have had the opportunity to be invested in by the Esports Trade Association to become a better leader. And I look forward to us doing the exact same thing with every single one of our chapter chairs, and also the college students who are going to benefit as a result, who are mentees of these chapter chairs. Gordon, this is where I'd like to bring you in with your relationship with college. Share a little bit about your experience with leadership development, and then also from your perspective of the college perspective, how do you see this benefiting the leaders of tomorrow?
No, great question. First, I want to echo both what you and Megan were saying. So, Megan, I love the line iron sharpens iron. I just used that yesterday, believe it or not, because that's what I feel like this program does. It's taken the best of the best and really learning from each other. And that's where I get excited because we're always all learning. Like we may have our skills that we're good at, but we're always learning new things. And John, Sharon was a big reason why I really jumped into ESTA. I did the pitch competition a couple of years ago and she was our coach. And oh my gosh, Sharon's incredible. She pushed me to limits. I've been a spokesperson for, in throughout my career for a number of different political leaders and governors and different things throughout my career. And she pushed me to limits I never thought about. Just the way she organized like your train of telling a story within your conversation.
Yeah.
So it's one thing being a good speaker publicly, but it's another thing having organized thoughts that meet your goal and objective throughout that discussion. And those kind of skills are like they come naturally for some, but others you have to be very strategic. So this program, what I love about it is it's taken the top leaders from different programs around the country in esports, and we're all learning from each other. And you're going to be paired with a mentor who's going to help you take and elevate to another level. I think we all need mentors in our lives to help us, push us, refine us, like help us like take things from what we already do well and make them better. And so no matter what kind of program you have existing right now at various universities, we're excited to share this with all the different colleges we work with because they're always looking to improve. And sometimes they lose sight of why they're doing what they're doing within their program because they get so caught up in just the scheduling and the day-to-day, like we just got to get stuff done. And we all kind of fall in that trap where you got to get stuff done, but you're not really meeting your goals and objectives. This will help organize, help you become a leader, be thoughtful in your leadership. And so I'm super, super excited about being part of this program. I'm trying to convince anybody listening, watching now who knows me, please, you guys join up. I've been emailing you, calling you. So if you guys can please sign up, it is going to be worth your while. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be interacting with leaders of industry, leaders from esports, leaders from business perspectives that you probably never thought of. So it's going to be really a fun way to dive in and just learn. And it's not too big of a commitment either. Once a month, we can all carve out time once a month to jump on and really sharpen up our skills. And so I'm looking forward just for myself. I know I'm going to learn just by being part of it. And I'm hoping we can convince others to jump on board and get on with this pilot program. Mickey's done a lot of hard work laying this all out, and it's a beautiful program. I'm very excited.
Absolutely. Something I'm excited about specifically from the student perspective is, as we know, younger people are the ones who understand gaming and esports culture the most, right? There's plenty of us who are maybe we're in our later 30s or 40s or beyond who have experience playing video games growing up, but it came in later into our lives, right? Young people in, say, college age were born into a world where video games were already part of the culture and continue to be more and more and more. What is so strong about our industry is we have so many young people who are so innovative, have such energy, don't know what they can't do, as a lack of being jaded through the years, you could say, and just understand how to reach this market effectively that so many brand marketers of older generations do not understand.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing here is we're really pairing that cultural understanding and experience of esports and gaming with leadership and mentorship from experienced business leaders. And I really believe that that combination is really going to help effectively support and grow our esports industry. Megan, going to you, I'm curious with your decades, you're so young, but you still have
Good recovery, John.
From your youth, you've been running these trade associations, knee high to a duck, and you've seen trade associations, you've seen chapters, you've seen this type of structure in multiple industries. What do you see that this leadership program is going to help with our local chapter chairs? How are they going to be more effective as a result of this program?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned Sharon, because when I was coaching with Sharon, and I did a 2-year program with her. She does a 1-year program, and I did it twice. That's just how I roll.
Better the
So,
second time around, I hear. Yeah.
it was about first season into my program, John, when I realized I have to share this
Hmm.
with the team. No. First it was I had to share it with you, John, because you were leading the team. And then me and John got together, and then we said, we have to bring her to our team meetings. And then
Right.
before we know it, we said, we have to bring her to our board. And then before we know it, we brought her to work. So what I believe is coaching, mentorship, mentee, leadership is so needed. This is almost like a dream come true, because what happened with Sharon was exactly what I think is going to happen to this life. In this program is it's for everyone. It's for anyone. We were in a meeting today with our Esports Next magazine team, and they're not only coming to lead to talk about publication and multimedia, they're bringing their intern.
Hmm.
So for me, it's just a dream. It's a dream come true that everyone in our industry can get a one of a kind, first of its kind program. And I'm not sure how many we're allowing in the program. And I know we've already exceeded how many spots to how many applications, and how we're choosing who's on first, but there'll be more cohorts. This is the first cohort. It's an unbelievable opportunity. And I'm probably the most excited about the coaching portion of the program. Coaches are for blind spots, and we cannot see our blind spot. And I'm on court to say I brought my coach to work, and that was a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm excited because every single one of our chapter chairs is very passionate, right? I mean, there's a lot of time and effort to bring together your local community, to take the time outside of your regular job or your family time to bring people together once a month or more often. And but passion doesn't get it all the way done, right? The more effective you learn to be as a leader, the more you can get done. You learn to prioritize, you learn to bring a team together, you learn to inspire that team and how to accomplish those goals, as Gordon said. Nikki, I'm curious if you can share your screen again and bring up the topics of the program, because I'd love to dive into these. And Nikki, I'd like to go to a question for you, since you have really done a fantastic job in leading and spearheading a lot of the content around this program. When you look at these 12 different topics, which one really sticks out to you or gets you most excited personally?
Personally, I really am excited for the last one, leading through change, because I think it's such a needed topic, because this industry it changes all the time, right? We're going through a change now, and how do we handle that? How do we handle all the change that is keep coming? And I think what we learn from that, and what we can learn from that, and the conversation that's gonna surround that, because I'm as we go out into the what is it the local communities and all these events and things like that, and we're talking to people about that. And this is one of the things that we talk about it a lot, is like, how do we handle the change, because change is hard. It doesn't matter who you are, how old you are,
That's right.
right? Change is very hard, and learning to adapt to the change, and learning to um, what is it navigate, especially if you are a leader, and especially you're leading a team. If you crumble, your team's
That's
going
right.
to crumble. So learning how to change with your team, and how to lead your team and motivate your team is like, hey, I know things are tough, I know things are changing, but like, we can get through this. And I saw, I'm looking back to like all of like my previous the leader, the people who I've worked under or worked with, and seeing how they handle change, what is it, really definitely affect the team, affect me, personally and affect, like what is it, the environment of everything around them. So I think it's for me, this is a really one I'm really really looking forward to.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Change is inevitable, right? And so we have to be ready for it. And what do they say? Speed of the leader, speed of the team. So, it can be great to be a leader, but it's a ton of pressure, right? The buck stops with you. It's really on you to be solid so that your team members will be solid, and they won't be more solid than you are because it falls on you. I'm going to read out loud these topics because some people may be listening if they're multitasking. So I'm just going to run through these 12 topics, and then Gordon, love to go to you on which one you feel which you're most excited about. So we're starting out with what is leadership. It's important to define that and to really understand the basis, the foundation of everything that we're learning, and then different leadership styles. I think it's just as important to become an effective leader to understand which style is your style, right? In the same way that when we're trying to operate in a strength lane that isn't your strength lane, you're trying to do a task at a job or you have a certain role that isn't what you were born and bred to do. If you're trying to be a leader in a way that you weren't made to be, you're not going to be as effective. So sometimes we're unaware of all the different leadership styles that are out there and which one jives most with you personally. I'm really excited about that. Organizational strategy. Chapter, committee, and leadership, specifically leadership around the chapters and the committees there. Recruiting members, how can you get people involved with your specific chapter so that the local esports community is coming in and engaging? Leadership through marketing, you can strive to do some of the most fun and engaging things in the world, but if nobody knows about it and if they're not finding out about it in relevant ways, you're not going to be effective in bringing people together and executing events and content for your community. Creating value for members, that's the one I'm most excited about. I'll get to that a little. Team development, we also have setting goals and achieving objectives, building relationships as a leader, which is very important, leading high performance teams, and of course, as Mickey mentioned, leading through change. So Gordon Hinkle, with your experience and from your perspective there with CESI and the colleges that you interact with there in California and beyond, which one of these topics are you most excited and identify with?
Well, I'm excited about all of them, but the ones that really stand out to me are the team development and the leading high performance teams, because that's something we're dealing with right now internally at CESI. We get a lot of talented folks that we work with, and how we can try to organize them to have a common objective and to be successful at reaching those objectives. That's critical, I think, for a lot of schools and university esports teams and clubs. They're having the same issues, like how to put the right people in the right positions in leadership within their team, and building out the team dynamics so that they're successful and not butting heads and working cohesively. Those are all very important skills for success. So those are the two that stand out to me. But like I said, I'm really excited about all of them. But those are the two that I'm really looking forward to, because I think it's going to help me with my own strategy.
Wonderful.
I couldn't agree
Megan.
more with Gordon. And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention this is the first of its kind in our industry. And we are offering this esports leadership certificate, from the association when you complete, which I think is really exciting. It's another accomplishment, and it makes you feel really accomplished when you get these certificates. And the other thing I think is, so grateful, John, that Coca-Cola, powered this program for us.
That's right.
I mean, what a wonderful opportunity for us to give a chance to share about just the generosity and what we've been around. Like Gordon says, is iron sharpens iron, and it's the best of the best. And are we going to be announcing our tagline for the program, Mickey, today, or are we waiting on that? Because I am in love with the tagline.
I think we can share it.
You're not on the spot at all, Mickey. What Megan is actually saying is, Mickey, I'm about to share the tagline. I hope you're ready for this.
See, it's so great that we
It's fine.
it's so great that we've had leadership coaching and that we can tag and jab each other. I don't want to step on any toes, but
Well,
Go
that's
right
a great
ahead.
that's a
Floor's
great
yours.
tease. That's a great marketing ploy, Megan. It's a beautiful tease right there.
it's a beautiful tease. So do you want to hear it? Should we tell everyone, Mickey?
Sure. You can do the honor, Megan.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll. Lead generously.
I love it.
Don't you love it? Hashtag lead generously. And I think one of the most exciting parts of that tagline is I love helping people so generously spend their sponsorship dollars and their donation dollars. And people forget how fun it is to donate, to sponsor, to give back. And that's one of my favorite part of my jobs is helping people spend their money wisely. So we are sharing with leaders how to lead more generously.
It's great.
Well, and one thing I love about the two words there, lead, obviously is very important in that statement of it's not just be generous, it's be a leader, right? Be an example for others of how you are generous. And when I think of generosity, I think about an others first mentality, right?
Mhm.
When you're generous, you're thinking of others ahead of yourself. And that's really what the best type of leader is. I think that's one of the things that really makes up the amazing dynamic that the ESTA community has. I heard from a number of different people at our conference. They said, John, this is some of the best networking I've ever experienced at any conference, regardless of industry. And, I really wanted to dig into that and talk to some people about why is that, right? Because anything you do well, you want to make sure you replicate. And what we came away with were two things. One was that we have a very diverse community, meaning we have folks from every aspect of the esports industry, from all of the services such as production, the AV, all of these things, to professional teams, publishers. We also have consumer brands. We have legal, scholastic. Every single aspect of the industry is made up in our membership. But the most important thing is that just about every single one of these people are looking to others before they're looking at themselves. And there's a recognition of, if I can help others and say, what do you need, before just pitching my product or service blindly, we're all going to be better off if we're looking for others. So I love that tagline, lead generously.
Yeah, and it becomes contagious too. Like once you start pouring out information that's helpful to others, you'll see it comes back to you tenfold. That's what we've learned. Like when you're developing great partners and you're sharing resources and trying to reach common goals with partners, if you're given to them, they're going to give back to you tremendously. And so I think it's definitely mutually beneficial that we all have that mindset. I think it's a great tagline. Great job.
Yeah, I love it. I can say I love it because I didn't come up with it. So I'm not patting myself on the back here. For those who are on the stream here, who are in the chat, please feel free to ask any questions that you have about this program. We do have some time for Q&A. So if you have questions, we will get to everyone we can. Also, it's important to highlight, if you are interested in starting a chapter, please reach out through the application process. We are very blessed that we have a number of different chapters all over the country and internationally as well. So you may reach out to us and say, hey, is there a chapter in my city? There may be, but if there's not, we encourage you to lead in that way, to start your own chapter, to bring the local community together. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that my favorite topic of all of these leadership topics is creating value for members. I feel so strongly about this program because we're not here just create an association and, I don't know, just not have an impact. We're here to make an impact, and so if we are doing things that are not creating specific value for members, it's really not worth doing at all.
Yeah.
Earlier in the year, we announced a program where we are providing letters for visa applicants, which is a strong requirement for folks who are looking to move to the United States or come to the US temporarily to work in the esports industry. And so we are providing that service. I was excited because that's a very tangible value add that people working and competing in this space need that to get here to do their jobs. This is another one of those things where we're really leaning in the community and we're saying, hey, we recognize the need for leadership. And so we're not just going to talk about it on a podcast. We're going to put our stake in the ground and we're going to develop a program and provide that to our members and provide it as a complimentary benefit. This costs nothing for our members who are participating in this program. So I'm very excited about that. One aspect of this program I'm excited about as well, while it's not a topic, is the types of people who are involved in facilitating the different topics.
Yeah.
Megan, you're very familiar with this aspect of the program. I think it's probably a little early to name specific names, but just talk a little bit about how you're excited to have a variety of scholastic institutions and brands associated with decision makers, leaders in the industry who are facilitating these impactful topics.
Thanks, John. First off, the chapters that we're launching in January, structured around this program, what we did was we looked at why were some chapters doing, making a stronger impact than others. And what we found after researching the soft launches of chapters through the nation and the world, was three things. We found that they had support on a civic governmental level, so city support. They had support on an education level through a university or college or high school, and they had support from a brand. So they had a little bit of a brand recognition or budget, or even a brand that would host the event at their office per se, which would make a great member meetup. So we took all three of those elements and put it into a formula to have. I think what Mickey and the team decided was 12 cities, 12 universities, 12 topics, 12 months, 12 meetings, 12 workshops, alongside your hot seat coaching and mentorship program. So that was really the structure that we set that up in, John.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. You did mention the in-person events that are happening at the end, and I think that's so important to highlight. So essentially, this is obviously a 12-month-long program that is happening online, but then we are giving attendees and mentees the opportunity to prove what they have learned throughout the online program with in-person kind of capstone events. It's kind of like your capstone class in college, if you will, and taking those lessons, applying them. And so this will be happening, like we said, 12 different cities across the United States. And it's also a great opportunity for sponsors to get involved. One thing that I love about this program is obviously Coca-Cola is leaning in very heavily, very meaningfully as our title sponsor for this. We're also evaluating other brands getting involved, where you can see you have a year-long cadence. It's not a one-off. It's something that your brand can provide engagement, interaction throughout the year online. So you have all these digital assets, digital content, but then you also have that in-person engagement opportunity with the different capstone events, which are going to be very similar to some of the member meetups that some of you may have experienced as you are, if you've been involved with the chapter. Gordon, curious from your perspective, you've worked with a variety of different brands throughout the space. How do you see this online and in-person hybrid working to support? brands in the space who want to get involved?
I think it's exactly what brands want. They want to get those connections from different angles. So if you are putting on activities both in person and there's an online component to it, that generates excitement because they know they're going to touch all different types of consumers or customers throughout whatever their product or services they're trying to get out there. So for me, whenever I see a combination of both of those, it's definitely easier to pitch and easier to share out because it does excite the brands and they want to be involved. So that's why you're absolutely right. This program is perfectly tailored for sponsors because they're going to get interactions and a long-term kind of relationship with a lot of the participants where they will be coming back for one reason or another over time. So that's a value add. Plus, this is just the pilot year. So if we're doing this year in and year out, there's opportunity for growth and for building a wider base of customer base through this program. So I think it's excellent for that, and that's exactly how I'm going to be sharing it out.
Wonderful. Very well said. Looking in the chat here, we're seeing John from Jacksonville, Florida. Fantastic to hear your university has opened up a campus for training and running events. So definitely connect with us on that. We have people from all across the globe who are joining us today. We have Nick here from Dallas, where I'm from, along with Freddie. I'm seeing Zavia from Houston, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And we're even seeing Chris from Cape Town. So, this is really pretty cool, understanding how global esports is and that developing this program is not something that's just going to make an impact, Megan, in Dallas or your hometown in Chicago or just the United States. Is really going to impact communities all around the world.
Yep.
Any thoughts on that, Megan?
I always say, and this is just my stitch, I'm a membership person. I always say, like, I might not remember, John, you might not remember what you got for Christmas 7 years ago from a friend, but you'll never forget who introduced you to this membership at the Esports Trade Association. You never forget that. It's one of the biggest gifts you can give. And when we talk about leading generously, that just way of generous being, that's just one of my membership, why I love membership versus being a customer or a client. Most of anything. And actually that is why Sharon was one of the reasons I hired her as a coach, because she started her career as a membership VIP leader. And so I thought, well, she could help, in what I love. And I just love being a member of something. I love when I walk in and people know me. I don't ever forget who first brought me and that's what I want, is everybody to understand we're the big tent. It's a family reunion once a year, but it's programming all year long.
That's right. And, it's a great point of membership. Gordon, it's funny, you and I are both graduates of Sacramento State, but we met, fingers up for all you Hornets out there. But we didn't meet until the Esports Trade Association conference, Esports Next in Chicago, I want to say 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. I know that you have had a fantastic experience with ESTA membership. Can you share a little bit from your perspective for others? What are some of the benefits of membership that you've experienced with the Esports Trade Association?
No, that's a great question, because exactly what you and Megan were just both saying, I can take to heart, because it's what happened for me. Like the folks who introduced me to ESTA were educational partners, and we still are doing business to this day. But that first introduction, somebody convinced me to jump into the pitch competition. I don't know how or why, but I was like,
I bet I know who convinced you.
It sounds fun. I'm like, wow, I don't really have time for this. It's a big commitment, but I mean, I'm so glad I just decided to just jump in, because once I did, I've made lifelong friends already. Like I'm telling you, some of my closest friends now, I've met through ESTA, and we talk daily. And we're just like pitching ideas, or like, what are you seeing? Are you seeing this? It's like, so you that place of belonging, like you mentioned. I think that's why esports is so big on college campuses too, because it's a place of belonging for students where they can feel like they fit in with their people. And maybe they're not the best player at the games, but everybody has a role to play, and everybody it's like a family. Like I've seen so many teams that we've hosted events for, where you see a family dynamic within the team, and it's very heartwarming to see that. And that's what we all want in life. Like, we want connectivity, we want a place of belonging, we want to be with our people. And there's a common thread through esports that we have, that draws a lot of different areas of interest together, a lot of special skill sets, a lot of special people. So I think that's exactly why we're engaged, and that's why I'm engaged, because I definitely find that this is where I find happiness, and I find meaning, I find worth in what we're doing. We're reaching students, helping develop skills through something fun like gaming, and that's what's so exciting about this program.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I personally feel like I've met some of my best friends through this association. Obviously, I've been involved for a very long time, shortly after Megan founded the program. But being part of this membership, even if you aren't able to join the leadership program this year, or even if since the program is limited in year one, even if you're not one of those who is participating, I greatly encourage you to get involved with membership if you aren't already. There's people in this call, Freddie, Nick, have become very, very good friends of mine, people who I wouldn't have known if it weren't for ESTA. Megan, I definitely, you and I would never have connected, I'm guessing, if it weren't for membership, and we've grown such a close friendship, almost like a brother and a sister over these years. I just want to encourage you all that there's so much here from both a professional and a personal aspect, as we are all working with the same goal to work in this industry, to provide more sustainable growth. The more this industry grows, especially in this challenging time that we're in currently, we're going to have more to do. We're going to have more opportunities. We're going to be able to bring more people into this space who can work in esports for a living, which is a dream of
Yeah,
so many.
just what you were just saying, John, like just all the people popping up on the chat. These are people I was talking to this morning, like on 3 or 4 different conversations. So it's good to see.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Like we have so many different things going on, and it's such a dynamic community and just brilliant people. So I'm excited, and like you said, they're popping up here on our chat watching this. So it is definitely a family environment, and that I think that it spawns creativity too. When you get around people who I consider better than myself, I think that makes me better. So it's awesome.
I love that, Gordon. And it's not like better. I mean, it's just different. I think when we're all getting together, we have this opportunity, and that's one of Mickey's classes, leadership styles. I'd love to talk about that for a minute. I saw that one come through. I saw that check off Mickey's list, and I had to take a peek in. Look, if we were all designed the same, it would be so boring. So if I am naturally really not good at something, by nature, I have to get someone to help me do it. So there is no room for solopreneurship here at the Esports Trade Association. We are a B2B organization. So we are not like teaching you how to work alone. We are helping you and encouraging you as a influencer in your industry, in your business trade, to work greater with the team that you've been given or that you're cultivating, because it takes something to do that. So like one example I love is all the different personality styles. And instead of saying something like, wow, doesn't Megan come across as salesy or pushy? It would be more like,
I've never heard that before.
No, right. Isn't that, you're my outgoingness. Well, what would that be? Not my my extrovertedness versus my introvertedness. And I have times where I am reading or reflecting and pausing. I most certainly do. And then I have times where I need to bring my E to the networking event. And that would be our unstructured coffees that we have no idea who's coming. And that is such an extroverted event. But it's my job as a leader to create events that are both introverted, like this course has some introverted qualities to the workshops, and extroverted. So where all of the 16 personality types are covered, and we can appreciate our differences, Gordon. You know, like that is the most awesome part of that 1/3 workshop, is not, oh, I want everyone to be like me. Oh, I want to go live on that farm my puppy was on, you know, or I want to go, you know, work with all extroverts. The whole idea is understanding our personality style, owning it, telling the truth about it, and appreciating the opposite. And really, John and I, one of the first things we did when we got into team development and coaching was understanding our gifts, our differences. And you'll very rarely see us tripping over each other's lanes. And that was because of the training that we received in leadership and development, the individual coaching, the, you know, the being comfortable. Oh, here's Rosemary. Hi, Ro. See, she likes to lead generously. Right on. So thanks for that. Thanks for that, Gordon. I had to jump in.
Yeah, and I say better than yourself, because I think we always look at our own weaknesses, and like we're always trying to prove that. And so when you see others that are able to do the things you can't, you're like, oh, I admire that in that person. But then you can learn how are they successful doing that, and how can you not change who you are as a person, but learn from their skill, or even maybe how to use their skill within your program or objective that you're trying to achieve. So I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, I think too, you know, we talk about this in our local, or I'm sorry, our private ESTA team meetings about, you know, living in our strength lane and really figuring out what do you do best, and how we as a team can accomplish a goal by each leaning into what we do best. And so a lot of times in the working world, you've got a job description. It's, you know, square peg round hole. You've got a job description, and you've got a person who's available who's good enough and experienced enough to get that job, right? It's like, just get that done. And maybe half of the things or more that you're doing aren't your pure strength. I had my eyes open years ago working for a company that just had amazing leadership. I had my goals, but they were so open-minded about how I accomplished those goals. And then they hired for my weaknesses, right? So I wasn't being asked, hey, John, do all this stuff that makes you exhausted, that you're not going to be most effective at, and that you don't enjoy. It's, no, you were made in a certain way with certain gifts, you have a certain experience and super influence in some ways. Don't try to be this other person. And so I think when we talk about these leadership styles, it's the same thing, right? Is understanding and identifying who am I uniquely, and being the best version of that person. And then as a leader, you collaborate and you hire for your weaknesses so that others are in their own strength lanes doing what they were born to do. And we're all doing that together in a complementary way to accomplish a common goal. And so I feel like that is just one of the many things that attendees, participants of our leadership program are going to experience and are going to learn how to do effectively, which is going to benefit each community that has a local chapter, a local ESTA chapter, and I believe at large, the esports community, the entire industry as a result, as we build leaders who are effectively bringing the industry forward. We just have about 5 minutes here left in this LinkedIn Live. Megan, is there anything that you feel that we should be covering off on here before our time runs out?
Well, I mean, one of the Mickey, it looks like you're muted. I presume you can't jump in, but if you can, oh, okay, good. You can. So, what I just want to share why I love esports and why I love this industry. And that is passion. The people that we're working with, like Mickey, is so passionate about esports and video gaming, the industry in general. And when you have the passion, you'll work the extra nights, the extra hours. John has the passion. Gordon has the passion. I'm not just calling you out, Mick. But that is why I'm here, because it takes something to burn the midnight oil. It takes something in your life to commit to being an influencer or being the best of the best and being part of this personal and professional development program or being in the association of your industry. And for that, I just wanted to share that it's so exciting for me that we have a master program facilitator that has such a passion for esports, that's a woman that I respect greatly, and that has mostly been behind the scenes. And for me, it's just an honor to bring Michaela forward like she's never been and really fulfilling on her dream. And she came to me with her dream, and her dream was this. So Mickey, I'd love to, close out this program and hear about, how this has been for you.
For me, it's just, it's combined the two things I really love, which is, esports and, educations. I've been an educator. I've worked in, digital media. I've done like a lot of things. And one thing I love to do is, helping people out and supporting people and creating programs that that really people need, are excited for. And for me, what is it? Gaming and, has been not just a hobby, but sometimes it's like a mental health break for me. So it's the community with the aspect of it too. Like for me, if I ever, whatever game I'm playing, whatever I'm doing, there's always a community that I can reach out to, that I can someone who knows more than me, that I can go say, hey, I don't know how to do this, like, what do I do? I don't know how to mod, can you help me? So it's for me, esports is and gaming is a big community, is a big thing, and I want other people to understand and to join in. So
Love that. Gordon, I'd love to hear too. I know you are so passionate about the esports community. Share a little bit about that from your perspective.
I think that's what I share with Mickey and why I think are kindred spirits, because like from the beginning of College Esports International, we wanted to take the fun in gaming and make it educational and offer resources to students where they could take everything they're learning from gaming and apply that to their lives, to the success of their goal, their career path, whatever job they were trying to get or achieve. And so that's what I love about this program. And I think the benefits not only to the participating students, but to the chapter organizers too. Because if you can bring this to your community or to your region, I think it's going to open up so many doors for all the chapters around the country. So there's a dual benefit here. So I think everybody should take a really close look on how this can be integrated into their chapter, into their city, their communities, and we're all here to help. So we want this to be a program that you can be proud of, to hang your hat on. So, and we want you to take ownership and feel like it's your own as well. So that's what's so unique about this. It hits all of those targets that a lot of us are looking for in rolling out something that's meaningful and educational, and also that highlights the positives of esports, because we hear too many negatives about esports. This program is really going to highlight what those brilliant things are about leadership that you can gain by being involved in esports. And I think the public needs to know that too.
Absolutely. I definitely echo that. I'm so passionate about our community because it's a like-minded group of people who simply have the same goal, and it's such a great opportunity to collaborate, to serve each other, just to connect and develop relationships with so many incredible people. That's just what I love so much. I want to give a special thank you to Michaela here for really taking on, you talk about leadership. This is somebody who's taken on the leadership role with this program. She's done such a fantastic job utilizing her experience, not only as a lifelong gamer, but as a fantastic educator as well. And I just want to thank Coca-Cola as well, who has been our very, very supportive sponsor partner through this. This program would not be happening without our good friends at Coca-Cola. So please support them as well. Thank you so much, every single person, for joining us today to learn about the ESTA Leadership Program. We urge you to scan the QR code, register, apply, and join us in personal and professional development. We look forward to continuing to serve the esports community and doing that with and alongside you. Thank you.
Lead generously.
Yay.
Lead generously.
Yay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.